Guerrilla Warfare. The Revolution Kings, King Abdulaziz ibn Abd al-Rahman al-Saud. The modern Saudi Arabia did not exist at the turn of the 20th century, but was the creation of the remarkable founder of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, King Abdulaziz ibn Abd al-Rahman al-Saud. Like many guerrilla leaders, he had to endure oppression and hardship in his youth when his family, then resident in what is modern-day Riyadh, had to flee from a rival tribe called the Rashidis. At the time, Riyadh was in a small, sparsely populated and desolate part of the Middle East, known as Najd, which along with other nearby areas was ruled by different tribes. The second Saudi state, the Emirate of Najd, fared no better when the Rashidis defeated the Al Saud aliens in 1891 at the Battle of Al Mulaida, forcing the Al Saud family into exile into several neighboring states, but finally in Kuwait for a decade. One account states that prior to taking up residence in Kuwait, Al Saud, then a youth, spent a significant amount of time with the Al Murra Bedouin tribe learning the trades of the Bedouin, which would have included desert navigations, finding an oasis, and traveling long distances by camel. Although exiled and poor in Kuwait, the young Al Saud was able to take the first of several wives and went on to have a large family of 43 sons and 50 daughters in the creation of the Saud dynasty. A large family at the time provided the clan leader not only with warriors in any potential conflict, but daughters to secure alliances. At the time, the present-day Saudi Arabia was fragmented into different regions, among many tribes, some with outside support and contact with the British or the Ottomans of Turkey. As with any region with multiple areas and leaders, conflict for territorial acquisitions or raids for profit were a regular part of life, which Al Saud took advantage of in 1901 with a merely force of less than 50 men when he was not yet 30 years old. His objective was to recapture the family seat of Riyadh, but the road to Riyadh was circuitous. Meanwhile, Al Saud was able to grow his small army before disappearing into the large desert area known as the empty quarter of Rab al-Khali. This act would confuse his enemies into thinking that he had vanished or returned to Kuwait. Any force of soldiers in a fixed position, such as a fort, would lose their operational effectiveness over time, especially where there are repeated and fulfilled threats of attack over several months. Such was the position the Rashidi governor of Riyadh, the resident in the Masmak fortress or citadel, when the leader of the rival Al Saud clan attacked with less than 100 warriors. That previous December 1901, Al Saud and his small band spent several weeks at the Yabrain oasis in the Raba al-Khali, awaiting the end of the Muslim religious holiday, Ramadan, which was on 10 January 1902 in that year before he raided the fort. Al Saud approached the fortress under the cover of darkness to await the dawn when he proposed to attack the fort, which was when the gates first opened for the day. Prior to departure, he left a message with a few remaining supporters that they were to wait a day to hear of success or to carry news of his death and the attacking force to their families. In the early morning light, as the Rashidi governor emerged from the safety of his fortress, Al Saud attacked the small group who tried to retreat but failed as the raiders entered the Masmak fort, killing many of his defenders and the governor in the ensuing skirmish. Al Saud had spent some time in preparation for the attack, from gathering warriors to close oversight the night before the early morning attack. This small victory, many years in the making, propelled Al Saud into the popular consciousness and made the small defeat of the ruling Rashidis a great propaganda event as word spread through what was to be his future kingdom. Shortly thereafter, Al Saud was installed as the Saudi leader in the great mosque of Riyadh by his father, with many prominent citizens present to see him receive the Saud's word of leadership under the name for which he was most known, Ibn Saud. All subsequent kings of Saudi Arabia included the name Ibn Saud, and he was also referred to as the King Abdulaziz.